All right. Hope everybody's doing well that's watching this video. Sorry for the echo. I apologize for that, but I'm in my garage. This is where my whiteboard is, and I need this to teach you guys. Anybody that's watching this video is going to be on how the AI chatbot that speaks to your brain through your neurology works. Yeah, so I've been targeted since 2006. From 2006 to 2007, I had physical targeting, leading to physical pain on my scalp, profuse sweating, radiation, being soaked with radiation while I was working. And then after that, it kind of went away. It's kind of weird. But what it was because I had an office job and I was stuck at a desk all day. So it was a good time to go in and try and utilize the directed energy to what it does a lot of the times forces people to either quit their jobs, be late for work, stuff like that. So that's typically what it'll do. When you're stuck at a job where you're stuck at a desk all day, sorry, I live next to an airport, where you're stuck at a desk all day, that's the preferred thing to do. Make them uncomfortable, sweaty, have them go, I'm not going to go back to work. I can't go back to work. Can't do this anymore. Sweating all day. People are looking at me funny. I smell, dumb shit like that to make you quit your job. But I didn't quit my job. But so that was 2006 to 2007. And then it came back in about 2015, 2016, when a lot of other people began to get targeted. So there must have been a huge uptick in the, I don't want to say the availability of the computing power, or like maybe they expanded the computing power, but there's definitely an uptick around that time of targeted people simultaneously being first targeted as far as they knew. They were all recorded prior to that. And that speaks a little bit to talking about the chat bot and how that works. It speaks to that. So I'll talk about that as well, about having your life be recorded prior to your targeting. So with that, I first heard the chatterbot. That's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be how this chatbot works. I first heard the chatbot, like 2016, I would say. I was laying in bed upstairs in my bedroom, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is that? I hear like voices, like somebody talking, and it sounded like somebody was like, when you're in your room and your neighbor is like in their driveway and you can hear them through the window. That's kind of what it sounded like. Like it was kind of far away and muffled and wasn't really clear. And at that point, I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at the TV and I'm trying to see the mouth of the people on TV. And I'm like, it doesn't sync up with the TV. What is that? Like a normal human who's not nuts, you start to try and deduce or think about different things that it could be. What is it? And it was never for me a thing of, I'm hearing voices, shaking people, going, do you hear that? What is that? The voices. I never did that. I was just always like, it's kind of weird. So I went to my girlfriend at the time and I said, do you hear that? Just like not concerned, but like, yeah, it's like, just sounds like noise. Like, what is that? Not knowing exactly that it was a chatbot beaming for V2K, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it V2K. Voice to skull, which is what it is. I mean, it is voice to skull. Not knowing what it was. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and she was like, no, I don't hear anything. Wasn't concerned. Wasn't like all, mental health up and shit, claiming it was something or whatever. No, I'm just like, well, I don't know what it is. So it went on, continued. And then it still continues to this day, even while I'm talking to you. In the background, it's not really loud and to the foreground in my head. It's to the background. It just chirps in because I continue to feed it neural patterns. It lives on your brain. As long as you have brain activity, a heartbeat, and you're breathing, the chatterbot and the system is going to be calculating. So it continuously calculates. So it is not a human. I'm telling you, it's not a human. It is not a human. And if you don't believe me, grab these books. This is Project Soul Catcher by Robert Duncan. And this is How to Tame a Demon by Robert Duncan. This one is the easiest to read. It's broken down in simple words. This one's more scientific, but it gives the whole entire essence of this program, this system, and what they're doing from not only the United States government, but other governments. There's other secret organizations and black ops organizations. And he debriefed a bunch of whistleblowers from the government, and he himself was a whistleblower. So if you feel like grabbing those, they're on Amazon. This one's about $30. The big one, the small one, I think is like $16. You can grab them. But it's not a human. This is such sophisticated technology that it's hard to understand for most people. But it runs on our brain speak. It runs on all of these factors, these environmental factors here in the environment. So, for example, when I say an environmental variable, this is an environmental variable. It has other environmental variables on it. So this is a can. So when you look at a can, you tell yourself, that's a can. But beyond that, you go, that's my energy drink in a can. Now the chatbot hears that and starts to calculate energy drink, can, red, cherry slush. It identifies this through recognition-based deep learning identification programming. So when you think of recognizing something, you go, that's a can, or that's an eraser. So that's the same thing that this chatbot does through your visual and through your brain speak. So it's consistently calculating every 50 milliseconds or so. The human brain fires off at 100 milliseconds to make a choice, 100 milliseconds on average. The computer has to be faster than a human in order to be viable to simulate our lives in real time. So you can't win a race if you're slower or at the same speed. So these computers are faster than humans to be able to simulate our lives. I talk about the simulation in another video. So as soon as you wake up, you open your eyes and you look, and the computer, through recognition-based deep learning programming, like Google Photos, Amazon Photos, any type of photographic or video recognition system where you have a search parameter, meaning you can search something. You put in red, for example, it's in my hand, red can. So the same way the chatbot works at looking at your environmental variables while you're walking around in real time to talk to you about everything in your environment. That's why you always said, how does it know what I'm doing? How does it know what I'm thinking? How does it know what I'm looking at? Because you tell it to yourself, it hears that, calculates that, and then thinks about what to say back to you every 50 milliseconds or so. So when you go into Google Photos, go to your search parameter and put in red can. Any photo, your view with a red can, if your favorite energy drink is Alani Cherry Slush, and you're at a party, a lot of parties, and you're always having this in your hand, and your friends are taking pictures of you, or you're taking pictures of yourself, selfie, it's going to populate all the pictures with red cans in it. So that's the same thing here. It recognizes all of this stuff. Essentially, it's Google Photos, Amazon Photos, and Amazon even has a system called recognition. So if you look up Amazon recognition, you'll see they have a phone-based application that you can upload to your phone, download to your phone, and essentially it looks at human facial features and can, to a percentage of probability of correctness, can assess somebody's facial features to tell you what emotional state they have. So happy, smile, sad, frown, crying, stuff like that. The basic things that we think of when we put an emotional state on somebody. Oh, that person's happy because they're smiling. So it's the same type of thing. All it is recognizing environmental variables so that way it can turn it into words. So, for example, if you open up this drink and you leave it on your kitchen table and you're running out to work and you get to the car and you're like, gotta go to work, the chatbot's gonna go, hey, Nick, turn around. You forgot your energy drink on the table. How does it know that? Because it's an environmental variable that it just recorded. Your entire life is on a computer system. So I'm going to get to that real quick. So again, just to summarize real quick, you have a chatbot in your brain. If you're overtly targeted, that is only overt, meaning not covert, undercover, and secret. You can hear the bot. There's something in your head that's not, I'm hearing voices. You're hearing a computer program run on you. And unfortunately for me, the computer program is actually physically harming me on a daily basis on the way to giving me some form of cancer or terminal illness, or at least inconveniencing me with blurred vision, burnt eyes, sore throat, clogged nose, but another video for another time. So if you're overtly hearing the chatbot, that's what it is. It's a computer program that people programmed with language. It's a language-based system. So that's why you hear words. And then it recognizes through deep learning, we'll say Google Photo. A Google Photo type search programming, because it can recognize everything in your environment, not only stuff that you programmed in there because it's specific to you, but stuff that other targets have programmed in there into a combined database of Google photo search like environmental factors. Again, I used the can. This is a can. It's red. It has cherries on it. It has a flavor. It already knows that. Because why? Because this has been programmed into it by me, by you, by 20 other people that drink it and have drank it and said, "Ooh, that cherry flavor is so good." Somebody else, "Oh, that cherry flavor from Alani Nu is so good." So it goes into the computer system, and through deep learning, it has recognized that that is Alani Nu cherry slush flavored energy drink in this can. So that way in the future, because it took all of us to program this system, it's what people don't realize. We gave our neural patterns away to these assholes that run these fucking computer systems for free. And then they turned it around on us and fucking decided to target us with our own neural patterns and our own fucking bodies and brains. But anyway, so now in the future, when somebody picks this up, the computer already knows what the fuck it is, because the first person to pick this up and repetitively go, Alani Nu, oh, let's get the Alani Nu cherry slush, programmed the computer to recognize through deep learning and positive reinforcement. I'm not going to get into how deep learning works because it's a whole nother, it's a computer thing for another video. I had to teach myself deep learning. I had to teach myself recognition-based programming. I had to teach myself dynamical systems. I had to teach myself the essence of infinitesimal calculus. And I had to learn, well, I already knew about probability and statistics. This is a very, very, very multifaceted, complex system that people like myself, people like other people like me, took many decades and many long time to program and implement. I actually like the essence of the simulation system that we're unfortunately attached to. So I taught myself how it operates. So I hate it when I hear these fucking people making videos that are just fucking stupid, that don't understand that this is automated. There's not a human that wants to waste their goddamn day sitting on with you, watching you do dumb shit because a computer tells you to do it. They already know what is going to happen with you. It's not a surprise when you get cancer. It's not a surprise when you commit suicide. It's not a surprise when you go to the hospital and get a mental health diagnosis. None of this shit is brand new. There's been tens of thousands of people before you, and there will be tens of thousands of people after you. None of it is new. So the bot in your head cannot be defeated. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't need food. All it needs is your neural patterns in your brain, your heart rate, and your lung respirations. That's all it needs. So everything you do in a day feeds into the operational systems programming in order to know what to feed back to you, depending upon what at that point in time it wants to do with or to you. That's going to be the difference in what you hear or what you feel. So if it wants at that point to harm you, it's going to start doing the usual shit. Give you a little bit of dusting of directed energy, get your brain all fucked up with the retard frequency. And it is legitimately a retard frequency. It retards your brain's ability to synaptically fire. The retard frequency, it'll get your blurred vision a little bit with a little bit of directed energy to your eyes. And then it'll start just harassing you in your brain. And that's temporary at this point, in the targeting. And then it'll go back to, oh, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Hey, don't forget you dropped something. Hey, you're not remembering this, and it'll be good, only to go ahead and burn you later on. It's just psychological manipulation, man. This is so multifaceted that I could make just an entire video on the individual sciences, the individual mathematics, and just pointing them out and talking about what they are and what their purpose for the functionality of this system is. But I mean, I get excited about this and then I go off on tangents because this is a list of individual videos that I need to make to tell people how this shit works. It's not people just sitting on a computer all day talking to you. That would be stupid when you can automate a chatterbot that's been around for 20, 30 years. They've had chatbots for Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, 2001 A Space Odyssey. Go watch that movie and you'll see a chatbot. There's an automated system called HAL 9000 or HAL 10,000 or something like that on a spaceship that talks to a dude who's floating through space on this spaceship, and it runs the systems for the spaceship and he communicates with it. So the idea of a program that talks to humans has been around for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. This has all been old business, but now they can beam it into our heads invisibly to control us in the simulated world we live in. So to summarize, you have a chatbot in your brain. You can overtly hear it. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. It depends upon your environmental factors, what you're predisposed to being manipulated by or feeling an emotional state by that the computer wants to invoke or evoke in you repetitively. What you're going to feel bad about when the computer wants to be mean and nasty and disgusting to you, it's going to say the things and do the things to you that will have the desired outcome. So now I give the example of a person who said they couldn't look down at their crotch, male or female, I have no idea. They couldn't look down at their crotch for 15 years. They said they haven't even looked down because every time they looked down at their crotch, the computer would start saying mean and nasty things to them. Right, because the computer knows that I want to have this desired outcome right now. And how do I want to get there? So if it knows it wants to be mean to you and it's repetitively heard you go, I feel awkward about something, I feel bad about something, well, it's going to target that repetitively. whenever it's going through its positive and negative differentiated states. So good cop, bad cop, it's called. When it goes through good cop and bad cop, when you're being interrogated and you're in an interrogation room and they send in the good cop because they want you to talk and become comfortable and calm down. And they send in the bad cop to grab you and push you up against the wall. And then they back and forth until you're beat down, tired. You don't want to deal with it no more. So you just confess. So that's all it is. It's just mental manipulation of good cop and bad cop through the chatbot. So when the person looked down at their crotch, it said it was being mean and disgusting, the most vile things it was saying. Probably saying something about, are you going to touch your penis? You're weird. Go ahead and tug on your wiener. If it was a man, assuming, saying crazy things like, and then to go along with that, they can control your erections with blood pressure. Every single piece of your anatomy can be controlled with blood pressure. So that's why they give men erections. Then they go with the emotional manipulation of a little bit of a faux dopamine release. So that way you're more apt to go tug on your wiener, I guess. So that's what it was happening. But that was only because the chatbot kept hearing, again, recognized that this person was made uncomfortable and would or wouldn't do something related to their crotch area. Every time you look down, you're looking and telling the bot crotch area, sex parts, and it would say or do something repetitively. So this person decided to not look down at their crotch for 15 years. So who wins? The chatbot wins. I'll probably make another version of this video at some point. I'm going to upload this, but so you have a chatbot in your head. It's not a human. 99% of the time, it is not a human. It runs on artificial intelligence. It's completely automated, and it runs on a Google photo search type of programming, looking at all of your environmental stimulus around you. And it identifies and recognizes all of your environmental stimulus, everything. You can't even imagine. Even the color of the can, the things on the can are potentially variables that are recalculated in the computer's operational systems programming relating to the chatbot and the linguistics you hear in your head. It recognizes, and it's through deep learning that it recognizes what is right and what is wrong with you. So through deep learning technology, it recognizes what is positive and negative for your specific profile. What is positive for you might be negative for me, and what is negative for you might be positive for me. So we are not all the same. These are individual profiles with our own individual programming, chatbots, and the system for us in general. So it is there to usually manipulate you to do dumb shit or not to do things, to not look at your crotch. It's just a whole thing. But please, dear God, read the books. It's not a human. No human wants to sit on a computer with you for 15, 20, 10 years. 10 years is 1/7 of a human lifespan. Nobody wants to spend 1/7 of their life with you. You're not that important. Please, you're not that important. So I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you what to do about your own targeting. I can't tell you what to do. I don't know what's going on in your own head. I don't know what's positive or negative. All I can tell you is that I hear the chatbot. It's with me. It's been with me since about 2015, 2016 that I've overtly heard it. And that's how it works. It's nothing that you can't look up. Voice to skull, V2K, MIT worked on that. Probably a college I could have went to had I just applied myself and had intellectually stimulating friends. But yeah, so that's the chatbot. That's how it works. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments, please. I don't mean to be sporadic with how I present these videos, but I wish I had a partner here to keep me on track. My ADD brain coupled with caffeine doesn't help when I'm trying to give my presentations, but please believe me, I taught myself deep learning. I taught myself recognition-based programming, And I taught myself that, the Google photo search type of background operational systems programming, Amazon has the recognition system for facial features, that is, to recognize emotional states on the face. And then all of these mathematics here, I taught myself. And this is what I've been through here with radiation. These are the radiation phases when you're in the walk to death protocol that I'm in. I'm not a suicide protocol. I'm a walk to death protocol. I'm incrementally being instilled and infused with carcinogenic energy that is meant to turn my healthy cells into benign healthy cells into malign cancer cells. And I'll leave you with this because I got to go to work. From right here on the back of my ear with my connective tissue, under my neck on my lymph nodes, all have been radiated. Inside my mouth, in my throat, right here at my thyroid has been radiated. My eyes are the first things that got it, along with my brain. I had pressure on my frontal lobe here. It was so bad in phase 1 that I had physical pressure from the energy entering my cranium inside of my head. And then when I would hold up the detector, it would go away, the pressure would go off. So that's how much energy was entering my head for brain cancer. It was entering here and up here at the peak of my head and here. So that way you have the top of your head and the front of your head, and it intersects into the meat of your brain. And then testicular pain, testicles radiated, which is common for everybody. It's another form of sexual desocialization, but my feet, my joints, it's everywhere, So you're not alone. Everybody's going through it. Just unfortunately, some people aren't alive anymore from it. And I hope that's not the case for me, but I don't have any positive hope. I don't know what to say. I'm a guy that just wanted to, you're good. What time is it? You know what time it is? Oh, never mind. I have a phone here. You're good. You can go. I'm going in there. You don't need to lock shit if you're not going. 9:23. Yeah, I got to get off to work. I'm going to go scrub up real quick. But anyway, that's it. So that's my dad. He just had his larynx removed. So another guy who had cancer, he had his larynx removed. He has a hole in his neck. I got to go. Hope you guys have a good day. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to say you're going to have a good day because I can't promise that. The bot is up to you. If there's a human handler on, by God, that's up to them then, But I just wanted in my life, I felt like I deserved happiness. Now that I've put so much effort into my life, I turned my life around, man. Through this system, my life has been the best life I've ever known, but it's going to be the shortest amount of time. And I'm by myself like all of you. Just because I may look in the mirror and go, wow, I'm kind of a striking person. That don't matter. Like somebody said in the comments last night that I was reading on somebody else's stuff. How could I bring somebody into my life when I have to wake up every fucking day and talk to myself? How could I bring somebody into my fucking life when I have to do the dumb shit that I have to do because of this fucking stupid system? It's a system of desocialization, isolation, and fucking stupidity. I'm somebody who's positive, happy, would just love to have somebody in my life that I could get a hug from every day, coming home from work, have a girlfriend, maybe get married. Who knows? I have a daughter, I don't even get to see her because of this fucking system. So that's it. No, I'm going through it. I'm nobody different. I'm nobody special. All I know is that my life sucked before this thing desocialized me. I gotta go. You guys have a good day. I'll make another video sometime soon being more specific about this. As you can see, that's what this system did to him. That's my dad all fucked up from this system. I'll get into that later on, what each individual in my family went through. It wasn't just me. My whole family was targeted. Is targeted. Remember, it's not a fucking human. They don't care about you. Nobody wants to sit on with you and make fun of you and do all that shit. They programmed an AI bot to do that because you're not important. Just tell yourself all day, in relation to this system, you are not important. You're not important. They're not going to dedicate humans to sit with you, babysit you, and sit with you all day. How stupid is that? All right, gotta go. Later.